I'm most productive when I'm working with people. I really don't enjoy working alone. So, I come from a performative background, and so I really want to make contact with an audience. And so, from that, one of the things that happened to me was I was a personal assistant for Robert Wilson back in the early 90s. And I learned a lot from him. And, what I want to point out here was that he is the preeminent director of contemporary international theater. That's Einstein on the beach on the right, and that was a very young me on the left. But what I want to share with you tonight, there are three different forms of collaboration I want to share. The first was with, here in Salt Lake, with Roger Bennington. These first two images are from our production of Ibsen's Little Eyolf. We did those at the Rose Wagner. And this was my first significant body of work as a collaborator. And what started as a passive collaboration on my part quickly grew into a strong creative partnership. Roger really embraced my aesthetic. He shared my lack of desire to create naturalistic theater, and he really understood my interest in things beyond the real. The next image is of I Am My Own Wife. We did this in Madison, Wisconsin for Madison Rep. And here I created content in Roger's work. Minimal sets, they require a different kind of storytelling. And Roger shared my philosophy in these, and we help each other become better storytellers over time. This is Never Swim Alone that we did with Washington Ensemble Theater in Seattle. So Roger, he understood that the design should participate as an equal character on the stage and not simply be a backdrop to actors. And that's important to me because what I want the audience to do is engage with the world of the stage and not just, ignore it. This is from Crave. We did this with Tooth and Nail. And despite playing a less visible role in the work, my aesthetic informed Roger's work, and it gave it a specific style. And that brings up an interesting collaboration in any, interesting question, I should say, in any collaboration. And whose work is it? This is from Pains of Youth, also by Tooth and Nail. I got a tremendous amount of satisfaction experimenting on this scale. And the audience in Salt Lake in particular was tremendously supportive. But I'd like to thank Roger most of all for having the trust in my vision and supporting that vision. So this is drawing number 387. This is part of an ongoing drawing series I started back in 2008. It numbers about 550 drawings at this point. So to give you a sense of scale, they're very small. It's in a, done on by ballpoint pen in the palm of my hand. So if I began this collaboration with Roger, that was started as a passive collaboration. This, I would say, is an example of an imposed collaboration. These guys are from 2008 to 2009. I draw these every day on the subway. It initially started because I just wanted more studio time, but that eventually became a performance. These are from 2009 to 2010. So I consider the passengers as my passive audience in this, what I'm calling an imposed collaboration. They see the artist making a thing, making visible something that is invisible. It's not the solitary artist working alone in the studio in this case, but it's involuntary collaboration on their part. So the question of ownership is wholly mine in the subway. These are from 2012 to 2014. I'm the one doing the work with these. My theatrical urge to perform in public reveals the invisible notion of the artist. Yet I'm not sure what it is that continually motivates to do these. I just find myself on the platform every morning drawing. So I'm not using the subway environment as a subject. The drawings are atonal, idiosyncratic, surreal. This carries over and feeds my home studio practice, which is, this is an example of, which is a drawing from 2012. So the last collaboration I wanted to share with you is one with Tim Dow. This is a piece called Room and Board, and it was recently in a year-long exhibition at the National Portrait Gallery in DC. So Tim's a critical thinker. His work deals with gender and clothes. He refers to these works as vanity paintings without the vanity. Except I'm vain. This painting is titled Buzz, and it's an homage to an old friend of mine. And unlike the traditional portraiture that we're all used to, Tim's work is not concerned with revealing the subject, much less the soul of the artist. In this collaboration, I'm inserting myself into Tim's critical work. I'm the model, and I'm also the content creator. I play a less visible role regarding content than I do in the other collaborations. This one's titled C, S-E-E. Tim allows me to be the sole decision maker in the process, and I decide what I wear, the pedestal lighting, and even the titles. I'm also a performer in his work in the sense that I perform identities. I get to construct selves and exercise freedom that I'm not afforded otherwise. This one's called American Aviator. And in this process, which started by being a way to project my interest in a particular kind of identity by what I was wearing, now it's become a way to project politics. I'm a gay Hispanic educated aesthete exploring identity and oils with Tim. So this is American Glory. So if I'm sitting as a model but in control of the content and other parameters, who's working here? Is it the painter or the model? You could see that in this case, the painter's working for me. But it puts traditional power dynamics into question between the painter and the model by upending that question. This last one is titled American Prize, and I like that it's not always clear who's doing the work of these collaborations. I'm motivated by the collaboration itself, much the way I used to enjoy singing with a group, a part, or other musicians. I've discovered that there's musicality in many forms, and I've found many ways beyond the voice to interpret and express it. So thank you.
So we have one more presenter, but Nathan and I wanted to get our boring stuff out of the way so we don't kill the vibe and energy after our last presenter. But thank you guys all for coming. We love having such great energy, such great presenters, such a great audience. I want to thank Nathan and his whole crew. I did very little for this. He pulled the presenters together with his collaborators. He built the stage. This is his show tonight. But I do want to mention that our next event is only a month away, March 27th. It's at the State Room, collaborating with Women Architecture again to pull the presenters together for that event. For those who